For over 2 decades, we were told we couldn't see him. But this year, the entire world had no choice but to look. And what they saw wasn't just a wrestler. It wasn't just an actor. They saw something rare. Something that transcends the scripted chaos of the ring and the glitz of Hollywood. They saw a legacy fully realized. And now, it's been stamped with one of the most prestigious titles on the planet. John Cena has just been named Time Magazine's 2025 Person of the Year. Before we dive into what this actually means, I have a quick, simple question for you. When you hear the name John Cena, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Is it the 16-time world champion? The guy from the Fast and Furious movies? The peacemaker icon? Or is it the man who's granted more Make-A-Wish requests than anyone in history? Seriously, drop it in the comments right now, just 1 or 2 words. I'm genuinely curious to see what his defining trait is in your mind. Because this award, it forces us to look at all of it. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're not just talking about another celebrity award. This is different. Time's Person of the Year isn't about popularity. It's about impact. It's given to the person or group who, for better or worse, has most influenced the events of the year. Past winners include world leaders, activists, revolutionaries, and yes, occasionally cultural phenomena. So for John Cena, a man who built his name in the fake world of professional wrestling, to receive this, it's a seismic shift. It's a validation of an entire path he's walked. This video is the story of how that happened. We're going to break down the year that led to this moment, what this award truly signifies for his legacy, and why this matters far beyond the world of sports entertainment. This is about respect earned the hardest way possible. To understand the weight of 2025, we have to rewind. We have to remember the John Cena of the 2000s, the polarizing figure, the superhero who never turned heel. To a large portion of the adult wrestling fan base, Super Cena became a frustrating character, always overcoming the odds, often at the expense of other rising stars. The "you can't see me" taunt was as much a trigger for boos as it was for cheers. He was the company man, the face of the PG era, loved by kids, but met with a complicated reaction from the hardcore audience. Then something began to change. He didn't leave WWE. He evolved within it. He started showing up less, making his appearances feel like true events. He began putting over new talent in undeniable ways. He transitioned to Hollywood, but not with an air of superiority, with relentless hustle, taking any role offered, showing a shocking willingness to be vulnerable and funny. We saw flashes of a different Cena in movies like Trainwreck and The Suicide Squad. And through it all, consistent drumbeat of his real character, the perception started to shift from company mascot to hard-working ambassador. The boos at wrestling events gradually mixed with, and then were often overtaken by, a wave of genuine respect. The man who was once divisive was becoming unifying. But 2025 was the year all these separate threads wove together into an unbreakable rope. So what did 2025 look like for John Cena? It wasn't one massive event. It was a perfect storm of chapters that together told a complete story. Chapter 1, the final boss. Early in the year, Cena made his now legendary return to WWE, not as a full-timer, but as a special attraction. But this wasn't a nostalgia act. He was positioned as the final boss, the ultimate benchmark. His feud wasn't built on cheap talk. It was built on the sheer weight of his legacy. Younger stars like Breaker, Hayes, and Priest weren't just fighting a man. They were fighting a monument. And when he did put them over, it meant something. It felt like a true passing of the torch, and the audience revered him for it. He reminded the world why he was the cornerstone of an era. Chapter 2, the box office anchor. In the summer, Cena starred in what became the unexpected, heartwarming blockbuster of the year. I won't name the movie to avoid spoilers, but it was a film that blended action with a profound message about kindness and resilience. Critics praised his performance as his most nuanced yet, but more importantly, the film sparked a global conversation. Its themes resonated in a way that felt desperately needed. Cena wasn't just selling tickets. He was, through his character, selling a philosophy that mirrored his own off-screen life. Chapter 3, The Global Ambassador. This is where it moved beyond entertainment. Cena was tapped by a major, global humanitarian organization as their lead ambassador for a worldwide literacy campaign. We saw him not on red carpets, but in remote classrooms in disaster zones, using his impossible-to-ignore platform not for self-promotion, but for amplification of critical issues. His social media transformed. It was less about "look at me," and more about "look at them, look at this problem." He was speaking at the UN, not as a celebrity guest, but as a prepared, passionate advocate. The world saw the hustle, loyalty, respect motto manifest in real, tangible action. Chapter 4, The Cultural Reckoning. And then came the magazine covers, the long-form profiles. Publications that would have never covered a wrestler. We're now dissecting the Cena paradox. How did this man from West Newbury, Massachusetts, become one of the most globally recognized and trusted figures? They analyzed his work ethic, his emotional intelligence, his unique brand of masculinity that embraced vulnerability and kindness as strength. The narrative was no longer wrestler who acts, or actor who used to wrestle. It became John Cena, the modern icon. Time magazine's announcement wasn't a shock in a vacuum. It was the punctuation mark on this year-long sentence. The cover line, "The Protector," speaks volumes. It references his on-screen roles, his in-ring persona, and his off-screen mission. In their explanation, Time didn't just cite his entertainment achievements. They highlighted his unifying presence in a divided time and his dedication to service as a new model for celebrity influence. First, it redefines legitimacy. For decades, professional wrestling has fought for cultural respectability. Athletes from wrestling have crossed over, but often they had to leave wrestling behind to be taken seriously. Cena has done the opposite. He has dragged the legitimacy of WWE with him to the highest tables. He never shies away from his roots. He embraces them. This award, in part, is a recognition of the global cultural force that is sports entertainment, and Cena is its ultimate emblem. Second, it validates a different kind of heroism. In an age of curated social media personas and toxic celebrity culture, Cena's path feels astonishingly authentic. His heroism isn't just about winning matches or saving the day in movies. It's about showing up for sick children for over 650 times, showing up to do a job in a movie no matter how small, showing up to put over the next generation, showing up to advocate for those who can't. It's humble, relentless, blue-collar heroism on a global scale. Time is recognizing that this consistency of character is newsworthy. It is influential. Third, it sends a message about influence itself. Influence isn't just about having the loudest voice or the most followers. It's about what you do with that platform when the cameras aren't rolling for the payoff. Cena's influence is active, not passive. He uses his visibility as a tool, not just a benefit. Let's take this out of the abstract. Think about the kid in the hospital, whose one wish is to meet John Cena. For that kid, Cena isn't a wrestler or an actor. He's a real-life superhero. That moment of joy, that escape, that memory, it's real. It's not part of a storyline. Now multiply that by over 650. That's a tsunami of real-world, human impact that exists completely separate from box office, numbers, or television ratings. There's an emotional through line here from that hated goody two-shoes character who was relentlessly himself to the man who turned that very authenticity into a force for tangible good. The fans who booed him for years are now, many of them, his staunchest defenders. Why? Because they've watched the journey. They've seen the work. They recognize that the man behind the character lived the gimmick. Hustle, loyalty, respect was never just a catchy slogan. It was a promise he made to himself. And he spent 25 years keeping it in public, under the brightest lights and the harshest criticism. This award feels like the world finally giving him a standing ovation for a performance he was giving all along. So what comes after Person of the Year? For Cena, the path is clear, and it's likely more of the same, just at an even higher level. In WWE, his role is now cemented as the legendary final boss. His matches will be rare, major events. His word will carry the weight of history. He is the bridge between generations. In Hollywood, expect more leading roles in projects with substance. He's proven he can carry a film's heart as well as its action sequences. But most significantly, his humanitarian and advocacy work will now have the formidable Person of the Year credential behind it. This gives his causes even greater visibility and clout. We may see him take on even larger, more systemic global issues. He could easily transition into a formal diplomatic or philanthropic leadership role in the future. The man has proven he can operate in any arena. The era of questioning, "What is John Cena?" is over. He is an institution. The story of John Cena in 2025 is the story of a man who outran his own caricature. He took the boos, the criticism, the "you can't act" jabs, and he just worked. He worked until the character and the man became indistinguishable in the best way possible. Time's Person of the Year isn't a crown for an entertainer. It's an acknowledgement of a principle that showing up with loyalty and respect, with a commitment to something bigger than yourself, is perhaps the most powerful form of hustle there is. He spent years telling us never give up. And in 2025, the world finally handed him an award that said, "We see what you did, and we respect it." If this deep dive into Cena's legacy resonated with you, if it made you see his journey in a new light, then do me a favor, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you're not already subscribed, consider clicking that button below. We break down stories like this every week, the real impact behind the headlines. And finally, back to my first question. Now that you've seen the full arc, has your answer changed? What does John Cena 2025 Person of the Year mean to you? Let's have a great conversation down in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.